Postgame Live presented to you by Toyota. Jason Goff, Kendall, Gill with you here at the United Center. Emirates NBA Cup action. KG was thinking that the Bulls were going to get out of Group C, get into that knockout round.
Good. It felt like it.
Felt like it.
It did.
And then Peyton Pritchard happened.
Also championship pedigree.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember coming to the old Chicago Stadium when the Detroit Pistons were winning championships and the Bulls were right on the brink of challenging them. And it didn't matter what the Bulls did. Whenever the Detroit Pistons decided to hit that switch, they could hit the switch and separate themselves from other teams. That's what the Chicago Bulls did when they were winning championships. I was part of a lot of those games when we thought we were going to win. They just hit a switch, and then they put us away. That's the same thing you saw the Boston Celtics do tonight against the Chicago Bulls. Peyton Pritchard turned it on in the third quarter, and Jason Tatum was steady throughout the whole game. He did a fabulous job. Showed why he's one of the top players in this league. 138-129.
The Bulls lose to the Boston Celtics, who have now won 7 games in a row. The reigning NBA champions. You know, the Cleveland Cavaliers got off to such a hot start. It made it look like this 15-3 team is just, bouncing around.
Right.
The Celtics are the real deal. And KG, you mentioned that championship switch that gets flipped. I don't know that I've seen a team understand and take advantage of matchups better this season than I saw tonight. They understand, hey, we are hunting a certain guy. We are hunting a certain rotation. We are hunting a certain coverage. They understand where to get the ball. Derek White did what he had to do before he went out with that sore foot. Jason Tatum, as you mentioned, as smooth as you could be. Jaylen Brown didn't even play well tonight. We're going to see what he did, at some point during the show. But
I said he only had 21.
Right. I mean, he put up a lot. They made him work, right? And that's just a championship squad. Tonight, Nikola Vucevic came to play. We talked about him in the must-see matchup. Vooch puts up a 32-point game tonight, 10 rebounds, 11 to 16, knocked down a bunch of three-pointers because that's what you have to do against this squad, but not enough this evening. 6
of 9 from 3, and he really kept the Bulls in this game. Was going back and forth with Porzingis early in the game, but Porzingis really couldn't keep up with Vooch throughout the whole game, and Vooch did a wonderful job of mixing up his offense, stepping into his three-point shot, and, you can't say enough about it. I mean, you look at this here, this short hook shot right here, just mixing up his offense, then going right into the middle in the lane where he knows that he can get points. And you said he came to play tonight. I think he came to play this season.
No. Vooch has been outstanding.
He came to play the whole season, and he's, in my opinion, has been the best Bull so far in these first 20-something games.
Yeah, there's a conversation to be had there. Speaking of that conversation, Zach LaVine is definitely in the mix. When healthy this year, he has played at near an all-star level tonight. 11 to 22 from the field, 29 points. And he also becomes the franchise's all-time three-point made leader.
Zach.
Congrats to Zach. I saw Kobe White's name there, third on the list. I'm like, okay, Kobe's been here for 4 or 5 years. And he's already third on the list. It speaks to the era of the NBA that you are playing in and they are playing in this time. But Zach, congratulations to him.
I think Zach did a great job of, getting involved in the offense early. We all know that he had a subpar offensive game, an unlike Zach game against the Orlando Magic. But he came back tonight and did what he was supposed to do. I like the way that he took the ball to the basket at times. And then, of course, his patented three-point shot. Did a wonderful job there. I wish he could have hit the one at the end of
fast break.
On that fast break where they could have taken the 2, but they elected to throw it out to Zach. Of course, he hit the previous 3, but I would like to have taken that 2.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, because now you only give the Boston Celtics a 1-point lead. You put the pressure on them. Instead, they get the ball, go down and score. And now the lead is 5.
The sequence that KG was talking about, Lonzo Ball locking up in the fourth quarter, really good minutes. Next thing you know, kicks it out to Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu drives to the lane and shoots it out to Zach. I thought Lonzo was right there for the layup, but this is the emphasis. Get enough threes up, try to make sure that you kind of neutralize the math problem that they've had in previous seasons. It's time now, speaking of Lonzo Ball locking down, it's time now for our defensive play of the game. Josh Giddey with one of his 3 steals that led to a Zach LaVine highlight. It's good to see him play in the pass lane. Not a good offensive night for Josh, so he had to kind of impact the game in a different way.
Yeah, when your offense is not flowing, you got to do other things to impact the game, such as getting steals, such as making good passes, such as playing good defense and getting rebounds. That's something that you just saw Josh do right here on this play. Dangerous pass right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Pretty much. He had a couple of those tonight.
Well, we would have had to take him off for defensive player of the game. But it made it through, and Zach went in with the dunk.
Hey, shout out to Zach for making sure that that highlight ended the way that Bulls fans would have liked it.
Yeah.
And I can't say it enough. We've been saying it all season long. I went and saw practice this preseason. Bill Wennington leans over to me and goes, you know, Taylor Horton-Tucker is going to take some minutes from somebody.
Oh, yeah.
THT.
Free him.
Hey, listen, Taylor Horton-Tucker tonight in 13 minutes and 37 seconds. The man had 16 points, 4 of 4 from 3, and he had 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks. THT went out there tonight with one mission, and that's to put the ball in the hole.
Oh, reliable, man.
Reliable. He's 23.
I know he's 23,
but he looked like old reliable.
He's old reliable when it comes to having solid play coming off of the bench.
Yeah, I like him,
he does not hurt you. He gives you points. And every time he comes into the game, he does something positive.
I like him a lot.
Reliable, man.
I like him a lot.
That's what I'm going to start calling him.
Oh, reliable?
Oh, reliable.
Oh, reliable.
Yes.
And let's face it, for all the old school cats, like THT looked like an old school ball player.
He looked like
6'4", long arms, built like a linebacker. Yeah. Got the Rodney McCray vibes to him. You know, shout out to Rodney McCray. Rodney was like 6'7", though. THT 6'4", doing this. So shout out to THT, Simeon's finest, man. Hopefully he gets more minutes in the rotation. Speaking of minutes in the rotation, Peyton Pritchard, when he came out of Oregon, you knew he had game. He goes to the Celtics organization, finds his way into the rotation, then became a real piece in their championship run last year. His fourth quarter was ridiculous. It just goes to show you that everybody in the NBA has game. It's just about the opportunities you're going to get.
That's right. We all know he has game. I mean, he's an elite three-point shooter, not having 29 points tonight, 7 rebounds, only 1 assist, but he wasn't trying to pass the ball tonight.
Not at all.
He was trying to put it up. And here he is taking Josh Giddey off of the dribble right there. These guys, and you mentioned this earlier, they know how to take advantage of their matchups. Yeah. You see right here, this is just a heat check right here.
Come on.
Because I thought that was pretty solid defense by THT, but it was just a heat check. And now we don't get the switches that Stacey talked about in the game. I would not have switched on him.
So talk to me about that, KG, because Stacey mentioned not switching as much as the Bulls do. You talked about it, the pregame show, on how to defend against a team that doesn't do a lot of drive and kick. They do a lot of screening and ball movement at the arc. Yeah. The switching everything defense, do you have to switch it up every once in a while? Do you stay in fighting through screens? You have to run through a couple of, like, what has to happen on the arc for you to defend that?
You got to give them different looks, guys. Okay, so I'm going to use my boxing analogy, okay?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Clear out, everybody. Clear out.
Okay. Well, hey, one time Floyd Mayweather will be in the high guard. The next time he'll be in the shoulder roll. Other times he'll change his levels. Same thing in basketball. Okay, you have to change your defensive looks. You can't always give players in this league a steady diet because they're just too good.
Yeah.
And you saw that with Peyton Pritchard. You gave him a steady diet of the same thing, and he read it and he chose to eat it up. Now you give him different looks. Now he has to think about doing something different.
A really fine NBA player off the bench. 10 for 16 tonight. 7 of 11 from 3. 29 points, 19 coming in the fourth quarter. Yeah. And that's with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis. You got a lot of talent on that court. And a guy like Peyton Pritchard comes out there and gives you 29 points. It's a championship pedigree that you mentioned.
Championship pedigree all the way around. This Boston Celtics team could go 2 in a row.
I think they will.
Because they have the formula.
I think they will.
They'll outshoot you. They'll out-drive you. They got guys coming off the bench that can play. So I still pick them as my favorite.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And when we come back here on Bulls Postgame Live, presented to you by Toyota, we'll talk about one of the 5 or 6 best players in the league that we really don't mention enough because he doesn't mention himself a lot. Jason Tatum, a silent assassin. We'll talk about with the game that he had and also hear from Billy Donovan when we return. You're watching Bulls Postgame Live, presented to you by Toyota right here on Chicago Sports Network.